There's something strangely familiar about a video or post that claims a secret phone call between two powerful leaders. The intrigue, the mystery. Recently, posts have circulated online saying there was a leaked conversation between Ibrahim Traoré, the president or military ruler of Burkina Faso, and Donald Trump. Many people saw the title, the thumbnail, the dramatic language, and thought, wow, this could be something serious. But when you start digging, the story doesn't hold up. There's no credible evidence that such a call actually happened. Traoré came to power in Burkina Faso through a coup in 2022. He's fairly young for a head of state. Known for distancing the country from its colonial ties with France and aligning more with Russian partners. Because of that, any narrative that pits him in dramatic, international tension with a figure like Trump tends to get attention fast. People are curious, alarmed, hopeful, even suspicious. One claim even said Trump gave Traoré a 24-hour deadline over Burkina Faso's gold reserves. But when examined carefully, there was no credible media or reliable source supporting that claim. The video had signs of manipulation, AI-generated visuals, pieces that didn't align with realistic behavior or confirmation from any official sources. Similarly, another viral video alleged that Trump referred to Africa's mineral resources as belonging to us, calling Traoré a traitor. Again, that claim turned out to be manipulated or false. Still, what's interesting is not just the falseness of the claims, but why they spread so quickly. When people are frustrated with their governments, and they feel external powers interfere, when there's opacity in politics, rumors and sensational rumors act like mirrors of fear or hope. For many in Burkina Faso and across Africa, seeing a supposed confrontation with a global superpower is both frightening and strangely empowering. The idea that their leader is involved in something big, maybe standing up, maybe being challenged. Another layer is the rise of AI-generated content. Images, voiceovers, deepfake tools make it easier than ever to produce dramatic evidence that looks real at first glance. So, people who share or view these things are often caught in between curiosity and skepticism. Traoré himself, in multiple interviews and reports, has not confirmed any such conversations with Trump. There is no verified transcript. No respected news outlet reporting that such a call was placed, leaked, or responded to, which suggests strongly that the claim in the video is almost certainly a piece of sensational content rather than factual reporting. Emotionally, though, these rumors matter. If you live in Burkina Faso, or another African country struggling with external pressures, insecurity, economic challenges, the idea that your leader is somehow engaged in big power politics can stir pride, fear, suspicion, or hope. For some, it validates suspicions that foreign powers are meddling. For others, it builds the idea that their country might have more influence than the usual narratives allow. So even when a claim is false, its resonance reveals something true about what people are feeling. Both desire for autonomy and weariness from disinformation, there is also a danger. Because when many people believe something false, it shapes expectations, distrust, and polarization. When official channels deny something, many assume it's a cover-up even if it's not. So false claims like secret calls leaked can feed into cycles of mistrust. They make real accountability harder, because people can shut down valid claims by saying that's just like those other lies. In the case of this particular video, it seems likely to be either A, manipulated, poorly verified, or entirely invented. The lack of credible sources, the lack of confirmation from either government, and multiple fact checks pointing to false or generated content, I'll lean heavily toward this did not happen. So what can people do? One thing is to check multiple, reliable news outlets before accepting a claim. Another is to look for official statements from either side, Traoré's government or Donald Trump's representatives. Another is to be mindful of sensational language leaked secret shotgun truth, often used to provoke clicks more than two, form. The most important thing is this: even though many claims like this are false, the feelings behind them are real. The ambition, the suspicion, the desire for justice or transparency, that's real. And in recognizing what's false, we also have to respect what people are trying to express. The whole buzz about a so-called leaked phone call between Traoré and Trump has taken the internet by storm, sparking curiosity, debates, and a swirl of emotions. At first glance, it feels like one of those sensational headlines that pop up out of nowhere and make you pause, your mind racing with what-if scenarios. It's human to be intrigued, to want to believe there's something big hidden behind closed doors. But when you slow down, take a deep breath, and look past the noise, you start to notice something important. There's simply no credible evidence that such a call ever took place. That's the tricky part with the internet these days. Stories spread like wildfire, especially when they involve high-profile names. Just the mention of Trump in a headline can spark curiosity across continents. Pair that with Traoré, a figure currently shaping the course of Burkina Faso, and you've got a recipe for a viral sensation. But as fascinating as it sounds, it's like chasing shadows. You think you see something, but when you reach out to grab it, your hand closes on thin air. There are no recordings verified by trusted sources, no transcripts authenticated by reliable journalists, and no official acknowledgement from either side. It's a whisper that grew into a roar without ever being real. And honestly, that's a bit unsettling. It shows how vulnerable we all are to the pull of dramatic stories. Quickly, our minds fill in the blanks when there's mystery involved. Someone sees a flashy video, another person shares it with a caption full of shock and fire emojis. And before long, it's everywhere, whirling around social media like a storm of speculation. You don't even have time to wonder if it's true, because it feels like everyone else already believes it. That emotional rush, that fear of missing out on something big, makes us forget to ask the simplest question: where's the proof? The proof in this case just isn't there. No credible media outlets have confirmed such a conversation. No government press releases, no White House memos, no Burkina Faso presidential statements. Nothing at all. It's like trying to build a house on quicksand. There's nothing solid to stand on. The entire story floats in that murky space where rumors live, where imagination runs wild but facts refuse to follow. It's strange how these things grab hold of us. We want to believe in the drama, the secret backroom deals, the shocking alliances that could change everything overnight. It makes life feel like a movie, full of twists and betrayals. But real life is usually quieter. Leaders don't make world-changing deals and hushed midnight calls without leaving a single trace. Power doesn't move like a ghost. It leaves footprints, paper trails, records, witnesses. And in this case, there's nothing, just the echo of a claim that doesn't stand up to the simplest bit of daylight. Thinking about it makes you realize how much responsibility we carry as everyday people navigating the digital world. It's so easy to hit share when something sounds exciting, especially when it fits our hopes or fears. But maybe the real strength lies in slowing down, pausing for a second, and asking, could this be fake? It's not about being cynical. It's about being careful. Because even well-meaning people can become accidental amplifiers of falsehoods. And when those falsehoods swirl around, like figures like Traoré, who is still carving out his legacy, or Trump, who continues to command massive attention, the ripples spread far. They shape how people see leaders, how they judge nations, how they vote, how they hope or worry about the future. That's a lot of power for something that might have started as nothing more than a clever piece of clickbait or an AI-generated voice clip, stitched together to sound real. There's also something very human in how fast we believe. It's not because we're foolish, it's because we care. We care about the world. We care about justice, about leadership, about who's holding the steering wheel while we're all passengers on this bumpy ride called global politics. When a rumor suggests secret deals are happening behind our backs, it strikes a nerve. It makes us feel excluded, powerless, left out of the truth. That's why stories like this go viral so easily. They press on our emotions like pressing on a bruise, but maybe it's comforting. In a way, to know the truth is calmer than the rumors. No backroom plotting, no whispered conspiracies between continents, just leaders going about their roles in the open. Watched by millions, held accountable by institutions and history itself. It might not be as thrilling as the drama people want to see, but it's a lot more real. And reality, though quieter, is where our future actually lives. It's wild how something can just explode across the internet overnight, isn't it? One moment, nobody's heard of it, and the next, it's in everyone's feed, sparking heated arguments, deep suspicions, and that low buzz of curiosity that's almost impossible to ignore. That's exactly what happened with this supposed Traoré Trump phone call. It didn't just show up quietly. It stormed in like a flash flood, sweeping people along with it. And when you really pause to think about why, it becomes clear that it wasn't about facts at all, it was about emotions. People are emotional creatures. That's not a weakness. It's just what makes us human. We respond to stories that make us feel something: anger, hope, betrayal, excitement, even fear. This rumor hit all of those buttons at once. It had the thrill of secrecy, the tension of high-stakes politics, and the allure of two powerful names linked in a hidden conversation. It was like tossing a spark into dry grass. The emotional fuel was already there, and the fire caught instantly. Even people who didn't believe it still clicked, just to see what everyone else was talking about. That curiosity isn't rational, it's emotional. And that's what made this thing spread like wildfire. Another big part of it is timing. The world feels tense right now, especially when it comes to politics. People are frustrated, anxious, suspicious. They're tired of feeling like they're not getting the full story from those in power. So when a rumor promises to peel back the curtain and reveal what's really happening behind closed doors, it feels like a relief, even if it's not real. It gives people the sense that they're in on the secret, that they found the missing puzzle piece everyone else is blind to. That illusion of insider knowledge is powerful. And when it lands in an emotionally charged environment, it doesn't just spread, explodes. There's also something kind of unsettling, but it's fascinating about the role AI played in all this. We're in this strange new era where technology can generate almost anything: voices, images, fake transcripts that look and sound convincing, a few clever edits, a realistic sounding audio clip, maybe a deep fake image thrown in, and suddenly it's incredibly hard to tell what's real anymore. Most people don't have the tools or time to verify what they're seeing. And when something looks real enough, feels real enough, the brain just sort of accepts it. That's scary, but it's also part of why this rumor traveled so far so fast. It had the emotional punch of a political bombshell and the surface polish of something genuine. Thanks to AI, what's wild is how quickly it turned into a kind of social wildfire. One person shares it, then 10, then 100. Soon, it's being discussed in comment sections and WhatsApp groups, becoming bigger than the actual content itself. At that point, people aren't even engaging with the details, they're reacting to the emotions of everyone else reacting. It's like walking into a room where everyone is shouting about a fire. Even if you don't see smoke, you start to panic just because everyone else is panicking. That's what emotional contagion does. It overrides logic and pulls people along with the current. And when you mix political tension into that storm, it becomes even stronger. Politics is personal. It's about identity, about values, about who we trust and who we fear. Mentioning names like Traoré or Trump instantly lights up those emotional pathways. For some, it stirs admiration and loyalty. For others, suspicion or anger. Either way, it hooks people, and once they're hooked emotionally, they stop questioning and start sharing. It's like the rumor was tailor-made to push all the buttons that make humans hit share without thinking twice. What makes it even more interesting is how people talked about it. They didn't say this might be real. They said, "Did you hear this? Can you believe it?" The tone was already charged. That's how emotional content works. It bypasses calm discussion and dives straight into the part of us that wants to react. Some people were outraged, others excited, others confused, but very few were neutral. That emotional imbalance fuels virality. It's not logic that makes something spread. It's passion, shock, and that gut-deep need to not be left out of something big. There's something kind of revealing in all of this about how we consume information now. It's less about truth and more about connection. People didn't share the rumor because they knew it was true. They shared it because it made them feel something, and they wanted others to feel it too. It's like passing around a spark in the dark, watching it light up faces, even if it's just for a moment. And honestly, that's a deeply human thing to do. We crave shared emotions, even when they're based on something unreal. So when you look at why this whole rumor went viral, it makes sense. Emotional appeal lit the match. Political tension poured on the gasoline. And AI tools shaped the spark into something that looked real enough to catch fire. It was never about facts. It was about feelings. And feelings move faster than facts ever will. It's incredible how a single piece of disinformation can ripple through an entire community like a stone, tossed into still water, spreading waves that touch everyone, even those who don't realize it. These kinds of rumors have this quiet, creeping power. They slip into conversations, blur the lines between truth and fiction. And before long, people aren't sure what to believe anymore. That uncertainty alone can be deeply unsettling. It creates this fog where trust used to be, and when trust fades, fear and suspicion often take its place. When people start doubting everything they hear, they also start doubting each other. Friends argue, families clash, online communities fracture into camps of believers and skeptics. Something as small as a supposed leaked call can spark long, heated debates that leave people more divided than before. And the strange part is, it often doesn't even matter if the rumor gets debunked later. By then, the emotional damage is already done. The seed of mistrust has been planted, and it keeps growing quietly in the background, whispering, "Maybe they're hiding something from you?" That whisper lingers. Even when the truth comes out, confusion also plays a big role here, and it can be exhausting. When disinformation spreads, it throws people into this endless loop of what-if thinking. They scroll through comment sections, trying to piece together conflicting bits of information, looking for something solid to hold on to. But the more they read, the less certain they feel. It's like quicksand. The harder they struggle to find clarity, the deeper they sink into doubt. That constant mental tug-of-war wears people down, and eventually many just give up trying to tell what's real. That kind of fatigue is exactly what disinformation feeds on. Because when people are too tired to question things, they're more likely to simply accept whatever feels right in the moment. And then there's the bigger picture, the way it quietly shapes public perception. Once enough people hear and repeat something, it starts to feel true, even if it's not. That's the scary part. A false narrative can become part of the public consciousness, guiding how people see leaders, countries, even whole events. It can sway opinions, influence decisions, and bend the truth until it barely resembles what actually happened. Over time, that reshaped perception can alter how entire societies think and behave. It's like painting over a mural with invisible ink. Everything looks the same from a distance. But the original picture is slowly being erased underneath. Disinformation thrives on this emotional chaos. It doesn't just aim to trick people. It aims to break the bonds of trust that hold communities together. When people stop trusting the news, stop trusting their leaders, stop trusting each other, they become isolated. It's easier to manipulate, easier to control. It creates a world where doubt is the default, and in that world, real truth struggles to survive. It's heartbreaking to watch because it erodes something so deeply human, the instinct to connect, to believe, to hope. That's the real impact of rumors like the supposed Traoré Trump call. It's not just about whether it happened or not. It's about how quickly a single false spark can darken the space between people, turning what used to be understanding into suspicion. And once that happens, even when the truth finally steps back into the light, it often finds that fewer people are willing to see it. If you found this eye-opening and it helped you see things in a new way, hit that like button to support the truth. Drop a comment with your thoughts to join the conversation. And subscribe so you never miss the real stories behind the headlines. Let's build a community that values facts over noise, and your voice matters here.